Crystia.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. Today we have learned that Justin Trudeau has essentially bankrupted Canada. What do we mean by that? Jobs are going to leave. Jobs are leaving. We are going to see more jobs leave as Donald Trump has come out with statements that now put the final nail in the coffin for Canada, that it is now saying that we're screwed moving forward, that even with the efforts of Danielle Smith, it's all over for us, unless we can find a way to make things work. Now, on that front, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into today's article because a suggestion has come forward from somebody that I follow on X that I believe could be a possible solution, one that should be brought to the table rather than trying to fight a businessman, not just a president, but a businessman. With that being said, we're going to get into today's news. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to encourage you that if you're enjoying this content with the new federal election on the rise, censorship's going to be at an all-time high. There are things that these platforms don't want you hearing. They don't want the news getting out. If you do not like the mainstream media, if you do not like Justin Trudeau, now's a good time to hit that subscribe button. Join us on our large Fringe majority here on the channel. Make sure you get all the information you're going to need going into the next election. That being said, I want to highlight what's going on here with my friend Rupa over on Twitter. Now, Rupa, sometimes neutral at best. I don't always agree with her tweets. But this was one where, again, it comes into line with Kevin O'Leary, with what Kevin O'Leary was talking about. And I believe it's a viable solution. Now, I want to get into that, and then we'll discuss it. I've been a longtime proponent of an economic union between Canada and the United States, which would include turning the USMCA into a genuine customs union with common external tariffs and free movement of goods and services and people. I think the time has arrived for political establishment to begin creating a consensus among Canadians that we would benefit from an economic union with the United States, and then go and pitch that to Trump. This is not Canada becoming the 51st state. We retain our national sovereignty. It's time to start discussing this seriously. This conversation should have started after NAFTA. We wasted 30 years in which we could have secured our access to the United States, and now we're scrambling. I believe this is what Trump actually wants. Now, to back that up, again, Donald Trump had stated earlier, before taking the presidency as he was incumbent, that he was going to provide economic warfare. This was economic warfare against Canada. That, we always thought he was trolling 51st state. It's not a troll. It's not a joke. He's dead serious that he's going to war with Canada. Now, he summarizes that as he tells the globalists at the World Economic Forum he's not going to do business with Canada anymore. Again, things are starting to heat up. But what Rupa says here at the end of this statement, that now we are scrambling, couldn't be any more of an understatement. When you look at what's happening in Ontario with Doug Ford, when you look at all of the leaders that are coming to the table saying every option is on the table, this is a Team Canada approach. Again, I've compared it back to the pandemic, that we're all in this together, ladies and gentlemen. These are the common trigger words for them to essentially take away and distract from what the real problem is by trying to fight the problems they think are viable. Again, we don't have any leadership. This is what Pierre Poilievre says: when you hire clowns, you get a circus. This is what 10 years of Justin Trudeau has done to this country. We are officially bankrupted. We're crippled. I want to show this clip of Donald Trump speaking to the World Economic Forum to let them know business is closed. Let's take a listen to what he says. Then I'm going to get into where this is a bigger problem for Canada.
I think we're going to be demanding is we're going to be demanding respect from other nations. Canada, we have a tremendous deficit with Canada. We're not going to have that anymore. We can't do it. I don't know if it's good for them. As you probably know, I say you can always become a state. And if you're a state, we won't have a deficit. We won't have to tariff you, et cetera, et cetera. But Canada has been very tough to deal with over the years. And it's not fair that we should have a $200 billion or $250 billion deficit. We don't need them to make our cars, and they make a lot of them. We don't need their lumber because we have our own forests, et cetera, et cetera. We don't need their oil and gas. We have more than anybody. So, just as an example.
Now, one thing he says there, we don't need their oil and gas. So even with Danielle Smith doing everything she can to try and negotiate, reason with Trump, he's standing firm. We can make it without their oil and gas. We don't need them. We've already seen jobs leaving Canada. With Donald Trump offering what he's offering, what a lot of people aren't seeing is that all of these oil companies that are in Canada, all of these auto manufacturers, all of these American businesses that have offices in Canada, you're going to see Donald Trump calling them up saying, listen, we can start giving you some deals to pack up, move your offices down to the United States. You'll be taxed less. We're open for business. We want to diversify our energy. We want to make sure that we are a globalist leader in economics. We're prepared to do everything that all of these woke countries aren't doing. And that's open up the doors to business, to growth, to opportunity. In Alberta, especially, some of these oil companies, you're going to see them shut down shop and relocate. I've already seen it happening in some places in Alberta, Calgary in particular, with major offices already moving to states like Texas over the last few years. This is the start of our country falling apart. Hundreds of thousands of jobs will be jeopardized. You see what's happening with Amazon right now with the unionization, with them saying, okay, we're going to pull back offices. It's cheaper to run out of the United States. It's more effective for us. You're going to see, again, auto manufacturers saying, well, they're not going to buy Canada's cars. We don't need to build cars up here. We'll just move our plants to the United States. Again, cheaper to operate. And rather than come to the table with a solution, rather than try to explain to Donald Trump that, hey, like Rupa says, like Kevin O'Leary says, maybe we need an economic union. We can all stand to benefit. We can all make money at that point. Free trade. You've got idiots like Doug Ford, who again are making this an agenda for themselves. It has nothing to do with a Team Canada approach. Doug Ford has now announced he's going to signal a provincial election to get a mandate to fight Donald Trump. There is no fighting Donald Trump. He just made his statement. He's made it very clear. Even with Danielle Smith willing to work with him, he knows where he's standing. Old Dougie here, by ripping liquor off of the shelves, isn't going to change Donald Trump's mind. What he wants is to secure himself another 4 years to go and make his cheesecakes and hang out and take lofty government paychecks. Again, he's pulling away. He's using Trump as a platform to demand another 4 years from his people. As you can see, Ryan Garrettson even quoting, this guy's calling a provincial election because of Donald Trump. Facepalm. Let's take a listen to what Doug Ford had to say. Now listen again to the rhetoric being used. And this is again where I try to point out, this is how they get everybody. This is how they get emotion mixed into politics. It's all about Orange Man bad, right? We all just need that mandate. It was the same thing when Justin Trudeau ran in 2020. Oh, we're all going to keel over if you don't vote me in. It's all fear-based.
We will be calling the election next Wednesday. I'll be seeing the Lieutenant Governor on Tuesday. We need a mandate from the people to fight against Donald Trump's tariffs, the attack he's coming against our families, our businesses, our communities. And with a strong mandate, we will be able to fight with Donald Trump to make sure we stop the tariffs and make sure that we give certainty to the people of Ontario. It may take investing tens of billions of dollars. We'll do tens of billions of dollars. It's no different than during the pandemic. We'll make sure we secure people's livelihoods, and I will do whatever it takes to protect the people of Ontario, in turn, because we're the engine of Canada, protecting all Canadians. We will not back down.
So again, those key words in there, he references the pandemic. He talks about investment. Again, we're going to spend money, ladies and gentlemen, at a time where we don't have any. We're just going to keep hemorrhaging cash. This is, in contrast, the same as putting a small Band-Aid over a gaping wound. Doug Ford doesn't want to actually come to the table with Donald Trump. He just wants to spend, and make things more ridiculous. He says that he wants this mandate to fight the tariffs. There is no fighting the tariffs. Trump, again, has been very clear. We don't need Canada. We have hundreds of billions of dollars that we give out to that country for nothing, because this is how the money is used. It goes to fat pigs at a trough like this, that essentially just suck up all of that money and use it to their own benefit. They don't care about Canadians. They care about their own agendas, their own prerogatives. That's why Doug Ford's calling an election. He sees an opportunity to use Trump as a pedestal to get himself another 4 years. I mean, right here says enough about our leadership as it is. Rather than Justin Trudeau, who's on his way out, by the way, he shouldn't be speaking for the people anymore. He shouldn't be talking about what Canada needs. He failed. He failed. He resigned. He's done. So why are you still speaking for Canadians? This guy can't even dress himself. This video shows you the current state of our country and the intelligence of the man who leads it. Cat Canada tweeting out, reporter, can you comment on Trump's demand that NATO allies spend 5% of their GDP on defense? Trudeau, Harper only spent less than 1%. This is the rhetoric of Justin Trudeau. I'll just finger point and blame. I'm not going to take responsibility. I'm not going to do my job. I didn't do it over the last 10 years. The next Liberal government that comes in isn't going to do it over their mandate. And by the way, I can't even put my sweater on properly. Let's take a look. Notice Justin Trudeau's sweater as he comes down to talk to people.
We should spend 5% on defense. Can you address his comments, please?
Over the past number of years, we brought Canada's defence spending up from below 1%, where it was under the previous Conservative government, to a path towards full 2% in the coming years. We have close to tripled projected defence spending since 2015, and we're going to continue to work with our NATO partners to make sure that we're doing everything necessary to keep Canada safe. The next NATO meeting is in Netherlands in The Hague, but Canada has a strong track to invest in protecting the North, protecting Canadians in a complicated world.
It's 5% on.
So, call it what you want to with this sweater, okay? The consensus is out on the internet that this is on backwards, again, with the seams. I'm going to say flat out, this is either a very ugly, disgustingly poorly made sweater, which wouldn't surprise me that Justin Trudeau would wear one, or this guy can't even dress himself. He can't run a country. He can't put his clothes on one arm at a time or one leg at a time with his pants. Whoever dressed him before work, because again, I feel he lacks the credibility to do it himself. This is the state of our country right now. Morons. Absolute morons running the country. You've got Pierre Poilievre talking about sensible resolutions. At least $176 billion. That is what the value of all proposed resource projects on this map that have died under the radical anti-development agenda of the Liberal government of Trudeau, Freeland, Guilbeault, and Carney. Now we are most reliant than ever on the U.S. market. Fire the woke radicals, repeal C-69, Green Line energy projects now. I mean, take a look here. All of these projects have been shut down. Grassy Point Liquid Natural Gas Project, West Coast Canada LNG Project, Aurora LNG Project, Prince Rupert LNG Project, Pacific Northwest LNG Project, Quispa LNG Project, Frontier Oil Sands Mine Project, Aspen Oil Sands Project, Dunkirk Oil Sands Project, Musqua Oil Sands Project, Carmen Creek Oil Sands Project. I mean, the Mackenzie Valley gas pipeline was a big deal. That's gone. Energy East Pipeline, Northern Gateway Pipeline. I mean, it's all there. And it shows you, again, the total losses. $176 billion. You just heard Donald Trump saying we subsidize a couple $100 billion a year to Canada. So if we had these in place, the U.S. wouldn't be subsidizing us as much, would they? We'd actually be working with trade partners. This is piss poor management. And you have Danielle Smith at least still fighting. Still fighting. She's got a good rapport with Trump. We had a video the other day showing Naheed Nenshit trying to slander Danielle Smith by saying that she only got 20 seconds with Donald Trump and that he told her to go pound sand. Clearly not. In fact, Donald Trump's people had said that the only reason he delayed tariffs to February 1st was because Danielle had the gall to come down and actually discuss things with him. He's a businessman. You don't go to war with a shrewd businessman. You come to the table like another businessman and you negotiate a deal. Art of the deal. Republican Ryan Zinke, who served as Interior Secretary during the first Trump administration, said reapproving Keystone XL is possible and should be done. He also noted that pipelines from Alberta are crucial for maintaining America's supply of heavy crude oil, or bitumen. Heavy crude is used in industrial applications such as asphalt and petrochemical manufacturing, while the lighter crude produced in the United States is often used to make petroleum. So again, Keystone XL pipeline is something that Danielle's pushing for. Many Albertans were championing this because essentially it creates jobs at a time when we're getting a raw deal from the United States. Donald Trump talks about subsidies. Keystone XL would not benefit Canada the way that it benefits the United States. Yes, there are benefits to Keystone XL. However, we were essentially selling them our bitumen and then buying back the fuel at twice the price. It really isn't a good deal for Canadians so much as job creation, and again, good trade partnership within the United States. However, if we were to get our oil to market, keep in mind that our transfer payments subsidize provinces so they can continue on with their reckless spending, so that they can put in their government programs. That if Energy East were put in, if Northern Gateway were put in, if we were to open a LNG and oil and gas powerhouse in this country, well, our deficit would start to diminish. Royalty payments would increase, other provinces would have surplus, and you'd see presidents like Donald Trump willing to come to the table with Canada, willing to negotiate with competent leaders. And we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. What you're about to see now is economic warfare. You're about to see many jobs leave this country. You're about to see many deals be put in place that make it very appealing for many large companies to pack up and leave the country. And the only person that should be blamed for any of this at this point is Justin Trudeau and his so-called Team Canada that would rather distract you with whatever works for their agendas than actually think about Canadians and what they deserve and what they need at this crucial time, especially, let alone the last 10 years. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you believe that all of this is a result of Justin Trudeau? Do you think that Doug Ford has a right to claim that he's going to fight Donald Trump and that's why he's calling an election? Let me know what you think down below. If it's your first time here, I hope the video has earned your subscription. Don't forget to join me tonight and every Friday night for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming show, where we sit down with my beautiful wife, Mrs. Fringe, and we talk about everything that has happened this week in Canadian politics, as well as other worldly politics. We talk about everything we know that's coming up ahead, as well as some back and forth within our amazing community here on this platform. We love hearing from you guys and what you have to say each and every Friday night in the chat. I hopefully look forward to seeing more new viewers and more of you coming in this Friday night, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, here on the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.